alligators behind me, there are 3 females and 1 male. You guys know which one's the male?
Little.
The big one. Yep, the big one is the male. That is actually Meatloaf. He's about 12 feet long. These females will only get to be about 8 or 9 feet long. That's how we know it's the male. Males are always a lot bigger. Now these females have about 2,000 pounds of pressure to close their mouth. That male's got up to 4,000 pounds of pressure. 4,000 is a lot. 2,000 is still a lot. Head up. Head up. Now if they have all that power, they trust me, don't want latching around any part of your body, how do you run from it? What's the best way to run from an alligator?
Oh, zigzag.
That's actually the worst way. Who told you that? Yeah, well, whoever it was doesn't like you. Yep, that's actually the worst way to run from them. That's because in the wild, they're actually going to eat to the side if I'm not tossing it in their mouth. You see how she turned her head all the way to the side? That's what she's going to have to do to get her mouth around your leg. So she's going to be running like this. If you're both running like that, not going to end well for you. The best thing for you to do is actually run in a straight line as fast as you can and try to get to a tree they cannot climb. That being said, if you can't make it to a tree before the alligator makes it to you, the best advice I have for you is to trip a friend. They can only eat one at a time. Head up. Head up. Lazy. Now that being said, if you're being chased by a crocodile, crocodiles have been found that they can climb trees. Yeah, best thing to do then is actually learn how to fly. It's about the only way. These alligators can go about 20 miles an hour on land, so that's faster than we can. But it's only about for 30 or 50 feet. Not that far. He weighs about 1,500 pounds. How long do you think he can lug that around? Not that often. Or not that long. Yeah. You missed that one. You guys see how he lifts up his head like that? That's actually him swallowing. They don't have muscle to swallow like we do, so they actually use gravity. They're going to lift up their head, open the flap in the back of their throat, and then use gravity to let it slide directly into their stomach. Let me see if I can get that big guy over there to eat for us. It's not big at all, it's just female. Yeah, if you guys watch, hopefully she'll lift up her head and swallow it for us. Please. You guys see all those freckles on her bottom jaw? Those black freckles are actually sensor pits. They're sensors for vibrations. See those there? Those sense vibrations in the water up to a mile away. Say a raccoon were to fall in the water here, any alligator within a mile can tell that it's there and it's going to come and see if it's food. Are there any questions about our North American alligators? What if I was in the water? What's the best way to get away from an alligator in the water?
Get out of the water. Get out of the water.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're in the water and an alligator wants you, they will get you. Now, a lot of people think that you're better off in the water than on land with an alligator because the water resistance will make them not be able to close their mouth as hard. That's true, but they'll still have about 3,500 rather than 4,000 pounds of pressure. It's still way more than enough, way more than you want. So you're better off having a chance of getting away on land.
Uh-oh.
Come here, Gator. Head up. You didn't come? Head up. There's nothing there. Head up. Now lift your head up. They're not very smart. Actually, though, crocodiles are a lot smarter than they are. They're a lot smarter, are more aggressive, and larger. It's not really a good combination. Come on, Gator. Head up. Head up. Head up. He says, yeah, right. Just gonna throw it in the water, and all I gotta do is move my head a little bit. Are there any last questions about our North American alligators? No? All right. Yeah.
What's like the average for like a male? Or
Usually about 12 to 1,300 pounds. Our heaviest is actually 1,800. He's a big boy. He's about 13 feet long. Any other questions? Yeah.
what's the chance of you getting away from an alligator on the land?
Pretty good, I guess. It depends. I mean, if they're really, really hungry, they're going to come after you a lot more aggressively. Usually, they'd rather eat something that's a lot easier to get. That's why humans aren't really on alligators' food menu that often. Alligators are actually born with a natural fear of humans. So if an alligator comes towards you rather than away from you, it's been taught not to fear humans. You can actually do that within 3 feedings. If you feed an alligator 3 times, that alligator will recognize humans as a food source, and it'll actually approach humans rather than running away. So if you're ever near an alligator, which shouldn't be, and it comes towards you rather than away from you, it's either starving or associates humans with food. If I were to fall in the water right here, I would have a worse chance of surviving than any of you would, because they recognize me. They know that I am a food source, whereas you, it's just be like, oh, what's that? Which is why I try to stay on the land. Yeah.
How
Now
is
this-
it?
Yeah?
Because kind of going further from what you were saying,
Oh,
that
you
you
did.
would be the food source. So what keeps them from coming up and actually being aggressive?
It's my training tool. I'm not going to be snacking them with it.
Okay.
And if it came down to it, I probably would. But I usually don't. You'll see whenever I walk by them, I'll put this in between me and them. That way, number one, if they do come after anything, they're going to come after this.
Okay.
Number two, if there's something like this, a stick in between you and a wild animal, especially alligators, but actually most wild animals, they'll see this as a barrier.
Okay.
They won't know they can go around that. These alligators could go through it and then through me. Again, they don't know that. They'll just see it as a barrier, as a wall, and they actually won't go around or through it. Also though, this is my training tool, like I said. There aren't very many up here, but if I wanted one of them to get back in the water, all I do is tap them behind their legs or rub them between the eyes. It's not going to hurt them. Again, I'm not hitting them with it or anything. It's just kind of a tap, and that lets them know, that's a signal for them. They are very well trained to get back in the water or return. Are there any more questions? All right, well now that I'm done risking my life, you guys want to get on this side of the fence?
Go ahead, Alex.
That was kind of mixed. Usually people just say no outright.